What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So Peter did a interview on Bloomberg. I want to play this for you. It's only 6 minutes long. I'm sure a lot of people have already seen it, but I want to give you my Cole's notes and just generally something that I've started to really catch on to Peter about. So again, let me know your thoughts on this. So without further ado, let's get right to it.
I initially thought, why does Lucid care if the $7,500 tax credit is canceled? Because your vehicles at over 80,000 are starting just there, I think, for the Gravity, aren't really eligible for it anyway.
Yeah, they're ineligible through their price point, but there is a route through leasing where a customer would be technically eligible. But there's also a household income threshold, which rules out many of our customers.
So you're not getting a goose from that. You haven't historically, and you won't in the coming year. You just had third quarter sales out that were better than expected. I think it was 200 million, a smaller loss than expected. And you've been taking orders for your new SUV, the Gravity, for I think just over a week now. You've said you plan on selling 9,000 vehicles, if I'm not mistaken, this year. Manufacturing. So what do you expect for next year? Can you give us a little color after your first week of orders for the Gravity about what you expect in the future?
Well, you're quite right, Matt. We've come off the third successive record quarter of deliveries, a record Q1, a record Q2, record Q3. We're assiduously working on our cost structure, and we're showing great results in that respect. Gravity is about to start production imminently. I'm fresh from the factory this week, back to Arizona imminently, and we're going to start production of what I believe is the best SUV on the planet very, very soon, made with a huge dose of pride from Arizona. And we haven't guided for next year's production numbers yet, but what we're seeing is growth in the deliveries of Air and the product that everyone's waiting for, the Gravity, coming. So I think there's a lot of good news to expect in 25.
So we'll keep an eye out for that. I actually want to go back to what a Trump administration would mean for you in 2025 and beyond, because outside of the tax credits when it comes to leases, et cetera, it's clear that Donald Trump isn't really a fan of the EV industry. I know that he is best friends right now with Elon Musk, but that doesn't change his feelings about the EV industry. What do you think that a Trump administration could mean for Lucid, and are you taking any action to plan for that?
Well, I think he's a fan, like so many, of American innovation. And what better example of American ingenuity and innovation than Lucid Motors, the most advanced tech in the world. And I think America is truly blessed with the technology and the technology advantage it has in the EV space right now. And I think that we need to think of the jobs that are created as a consequence of this, great high-tech jobs in middle America. And you know, any incentive is truly an investment in the future American economy and jobs creation. So I think we should be cognizant of that. But I also would like to state this, that because Lucid's got the most advanced EV technology on the planet, we're able to go further with less batteries. So if there was a situation where incentives were removed, which incentivize the amount of batteries you put in the car, Lucid, amongst all the EV makers, is really the most immune from that.
What do you make of the relationship between the president-elect and Elon Musk? Do you ever worry that perhaps Tesla could get more favorable treatment?
I am eternally optimistic that Lucid will prevail because we are a tech company and we've really taken the mantle of technology leadership from Tesla right now. And this is not really sufficiently recognized. So I think we're in a very strong position to weather any such storm.
I'd say that, so I haven't driven a Lucid vehicle, and I don't have an emotional connection to the brand, but critics overwhelmingly name it as the best electric vehicle that a consumer can buy in terms of the technology and the driving experience. Nonetheless, you need a lot more cash, right? You've got, I think one estimate is that you need about $6 billion more cash before you can get to a break-even rate. The Saudis have already invested, I think, $8.5 billion, including the October equity raise. How how are you going to get that? Where are you going to reach? Back to Saudi Arabia? You raise more equity from current investors? Do you bring in new investors? Because Rivian has done a great job of creating a partnership with Volkswagen that I must look pretty appetizing to you.
Yes, well, it's a capital-intensive business, as we're all aware. And we've always stated that we will entrepreneurially raise extra cash at appropriate times during the growth of the company. And the last raise, October's raise, is a great example of that, Matt. We raised nearly $1.75 billion, which really helps secure the future of the company. That gives us a financial runway well into 2026. And it's proven that with raising over $4 billion this financial year, this 2024, we've been able to do that when others have found it very challenging. And throughout that, the Saudis have stood shoulder to shoulder with us. And I think it's salient that they have gone pro rata with their ownership in the recent funding round. They've made a commitment to retain their percentage shareholding. So it's all about scale. And the scale comes in 4 steps. Brand awareness driving more Lucid Air deliveries, and we've seen successive quarter-upon-quarter record deliveries. Gravity accelerating that with a far greater total addressable market. This is the product that all America wants, the best SUV on the planet.
Right.
That's coming imminently. We're working on mid-size platform. That's our Tesla competitor. That's scheduled for start of production late 26. That's our $48,000 to $50,000 product. That's the big one for us. And many of my engineering team are already working full chat on that right now.
Well, Peter, let's quickly talk about shares. We have less than a minute left with you, unfortunately, but they're hovering near a record low. You talk about this opportunity set that you have in front of you. What don't you think that the market is hearing?
I think this is a long-term play. I don't think they're seeing the true value proposition. This is a technology play. It's been recognized, and it's about scale now and assiduous attention to costs. And that's what my team is focused upon.
Okay, so a couple things to bring up. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, I like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I guess my last video kind of hurt some individuals because they don't like any negativity. So it is what it is. That's what I'm all about, right? I don't sugarcoat any crap. I just say how it is. And clearly with Lucid kind of hovering around the 52-week low, that's basically like, you can't be that optimistic, right? But generally, some points that he did bring up in this, I feel like were the causes why Lucid did hit that all-time low on Friday, because he talked on dilution and how they need at least 6 billion. I think that they need probably a little bit more than that. But still, I think a lot of investors maybe do truly believe and trust Lucid, say, hey, we have a sufficient amount of cash up until well into 2026. I know I call them out all the time. I don't know if any others as well do, but they've been wrong 100% of the time. So I think based on him kind of validating that there needs to be at least 6 billion, in all fairness, that's around 9. So I think just that spooks people in general. And plus the fact that he is now saying it's a long-term play, that's basically what a bag holder does say. That tries to justify their kind of wrong timing, because the market's all about timing, right? It might seem like a good viable investment at this stage in the game, but things develop and it doesn't turn out as that. To justify their reasoning, do they just say it's a long-term play? That's what people generally do, not with Lucid, but as a kind of as a whole. But the fact that the CEO is saying that, I feel like that does signal that there's more downside coming, whether it be because of the dilution aspect or some other stuff. So that's one thing that I generally did not like from what he stated. And he kind of, the fact is, I got to give him credit. The fact that it is at like all-time lows and he shows his face, I do got to give him a round of applause for that, because that's very admirable. Again, I don't hate Lucid. The reason why I have a dedicated channel to Lucid is because I like the product, but I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm not here to pump you up and just say, hey, it's going to the moon. I'm realistic. So just once again, be aware that this is why it is what it is. But Yeah, generally, I don't like the fact that he also did ignore how Elon and Trump and how potentially, even I was thinking, I don't know if I brought it up in a video or not, but I think everyone is thinking, it's like, is Elon going to get some preferential kind of benefit out of EVs where maybe it'd only be kind of within his selling range? So a vehicle below, let's say, 50,000 qualifies or something along those lines, where obviously it would exclude Lucid and Rivian and a lot of the other competitors. So I think everyone is really wondering that. And Peter didn't really answer that whatsoever. He actually started by saying Lucid will prevail. I don't know if that's a good answer. And in my previous history, I actually was like a HR supervisor, and I find that comical whenever I asked a question to someone and they just outright just go down a different path. I've always wondered, it's like, what's your mentality? Why would you think about that being your answer? So for instance, when like an interviewer is asking you, like, do you think Trump and Elon, like, there's going to be some benefit that Elon and Tesla do get in 4 years? Like, what logical way would you say Lucid's going to prevail? That's not like any viable option to me, at least. I don't know about any of you, but yeah, I think in general, it is what it is. We already know Peter loves to talk on technology. This is why 2 videos ago I did state that it might be in Lucid's best interest to potentially cycle Peter out, keep him as CTO, because he's very much focused on technology, all about that, and he's good at it. But I think that there needs to be more of a hype man for the most part as a CEO, and they definitely do need to either pay their marketing VPs more just to retain them, or they need to do something, but their marketing isn't working right now. So yeah, that's basically my takeaways from it. Like I said, I think it is generally good, the fact that he actually did show his face and kind of touched on share price and didn't really shy away from that. So yeah, what was your takeaways from that? Of course, the very obvious one was Gravity production is imminent, so it is coming. We just don't know when. He stated that he was just at the AMP facility this week, so hopefully it's coming soon. As I mentioned, like, I think we only have like 6 weeks left, so logically it should be coming soon. But let me know your thoughts on this. What was your takeaways? Was there anything positive that I possibly did miss, or did you kind of have the same mentality as myself? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far, and with all that, appreciate all of you watching.